It's me. Okay, so this is going to be the rest of the Leverage episodes. I actually did write a sticky just so I remember the little notes I wanted for each episode, or else I'd forget all of them. Hopefully you have watched the episode that I absolutely loved, the bucket job, with LeVar Burton, because it's probably my favorite episode in the whole season. But, you know, the other episodes after that have some good stuff to them, and I'm sure you might have liked it just as much as I did. So the next episode is the unwellness job. Obviously, the episode is a dig at Goop. I think that's Gwyneth Paltrow's thing, Goop, whatever. It's also, it's got, like, some Elon digs in it, too, with, like, bits and bytes and stuff like that. Part of what I liked about the con for this one is that Sophie obviously, like, took advantage of all of that. And that was pretty smart for her to, you know, go ahead and, at the blink of an eye, like, decide how she's going to con this guy into not killing her. So I thought that was pretty cool. Little moments that I liked in the episode. The beginning part where, Parker is, like, stabbing watermelons. And, basically, you know, Brianna's like, what's going on? And, Elliot's like, I don't know, maybe it's knife day. Like, I giggled at that part. And then when Sophie, in seeing that, like, you know, this person goes ahead and cons people in the way that she did, that whoever the bad guy is in this one, I don't know her name, and she's like a bit actress or whatever, she breaks out the con reference. Like, I like that no one is safe from Star Trek and Doctor Who references on this on this team. Like, even Sophie, who hasn't been around for a while, is still making con references, which I enjoy. I found it scary, the web searches thing, where it was totally like, hey, we're using your web searches to get there. And it was very interesting how Brianna, like, called that out. Like, this show does a good job of, like, calling out real problems that do exist, like, with the internet and stuff like that. But just very interesting. The little part that I liked in it was when Harry was like, hey, my bad guy stuff and all, and looking at it, and, like, you know, she gives him respect. But it was cool how they, like, out of nowhere, she just, you know, the con is constantly changing, in this one, and it's interesting to see how they pivot, and how personally Sophie takes this, because this chick is just taking grifting a whole other way that Sophie's not for. It's weird how Sophie has, like, this mentality that, like, grifting is righteous in certain ways, but not righteous in others. So it's nice to give her that layer of, like, aggravation and frustration, but then to watch how, like, she shines when she has to, like, think on the spot. And that's gonna, we'll more dig into that later. The next episode is very Sophie-centric. It's called The Jackal Job, with the effervescent Joanna Cassidy. I'm right on top of that, Rose. I really hope you know this reference. Once again, we go back into history, with the characters playing, you know, whoever they imagine in their brains. I love that we, you know, find out who Sophie, like, looked up to, like, this jackal person. I thought that was really a nice little, like, again, layer to give to Sophie as we needed it. It's weird seeing Sophie starstruck, because she's, like, never starstruck for anybody. She's like, whatever. I know I say this often, and I swear to God, I really hope that it comes across in, like, the nice way I mean it. I love how much we're digging into lesbian stuff. Let's dig into that. And I like that they didn't just sugarcoat it. They were like, look, shit was hard back in the day. And still not as easy as it could have been. Like, granted, you know, you try to move to Louisiana and they're more open-minded. Obviously, you come into how Brianna is also gay and stuff like that. But I do like that we're digging into that more, because it's a thing. It's real. And, like, all of your characters aren't always going to be cisgender. Like, they're just not. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have all their own feelings and vibes and stuff like that. I like the cute little romantic aspects of it. I like how, we killed the dude, and she's like, honestly, I don't remember. And Sophie was like, fine by me. You know what I mean? When it comes to, like, I don't know what you did to this dude's body. Because Sophie makes it a point of asking. I do like... Parker, I feel like, is so much better now with a personality. When she's like, he looks like a used car salesman's sneeze. Her whole little, like, a box is a vent that moves. And just watching that, like, her glee in some of these areas is just, it's funny. I enjoy it. Forgive me, I just cleaned out all of my fans, and they're itchy. And most of all, I love an episode with a very happy ending. Loved that, we see a poorly done makeup version of the chick from the beginning of the story. But I like that, they all ended up happily ever after with the bunny or the bear or some shit like that. But I like a happy ending. Next is the golf job, which has Hurley in it. I like the Hurley storyline, whatever, and I like when Hurley comes back. But more importantly, it has Spike, James Marsters, showing up for it, which is yay! This is obviously the guy's story. Earlier in the season, we had the girl story with the Halloween episode and stuff like that. But we have the guy's story for them all going out to play golf. I like the beginning scene where it's like, they're all giving each other props. And, like, Harry is, like, the guy with the newspaper. And he's just, like, whatever. So it's fun watching them give props to each other for that. Because usually it's just kind of like, yeah, we think each other's great, but actually seeing them give each other props I liked. Interesting side note for this episode. At one point in time, Elliot goes into the golf store or whatever. I don't know what the fuck to call it. But, like, the store to buy stuff at the golfing range. And the checkout girl he, like, flirts with is actually Noah Wiley's wife in real life. So this show, like, does a really good job nowadays, especially, of, becoming a family affair. They did this a lot because of COVID, and because people wanted to be around their families. So, like, various members of families will show up throughout this season because they were nearby on set or something. So I thought that was nice. Little things that, like, this is human trafficking, which is like, thank you, we're talking about that now, too. It bothers me that Spike is a human trafficker, but, like, also is a vampire, so I guess but it bothered me a bit. My favorite part in this is par 3, when he, like, hits someone 3 times or whatever, but Hurley just, I was glad to have Hurley here, and I actually hope Hurley will come back and do other things. I'm sure we're going to see Peggy as well, because I believe, if you remember correctly, Peggy and Hurley ended up together. So I'm interested when she's going to show up to do things as well, and to see what she's changed into. Next is the hurricane job. I enjoyed this episode because we are talking about all the things, like police corruption. Fuck the police and shit. And also about, like, the challenge that lottery winners have, because people are so eager to take, like, Rob and I talk all the time about how the things we would do if we won the lottery, like that lottery the Powerball that just happened. But that shit's also a lot of trouble to work with, as as is evidenced in this episode. So it's interesting to watch how it was. It's kind of a bottle episode in that most of the stuff happens at the lighthouse or at the hotel near the lighthouse, whatever. But, like, I like that about it. I actually feel like one of the stars of this episode is Maria Shipp, who we talked about before. Maria's interaction with Parker is hysterical, where Parker doesn't like her at first. And then, Parker's sticking, like, the earbud thing into Maria's ear or whatever. And then watching Parker have, like, big brother feelings about losing Elliot is very sweet. Watching Maria and Elliot go off to, like, go find the ham radio or whatever. And then, like, Elliot grabs the walkie-talkie to go ahead and be like, shh, boss, shh. And then she's like, I'm shocked that didn't work. And I immediately laughed because I was like, fucking, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. And then watching her be like, I hope you appreciate my restraint and kicking their asses. Like, all kind, like, she doesn't take no shit. And I kind of like that about her. You know what I mean? Like, you needed someone who doesn't take any shit, can hold her own when it comes to that. The whole entire part with Elliot's shoulder being dislocated and watching like how it hurts with Parker poking at it, I was definitely big brother little sister kind of vibe there, and I enjoyed that. And at the very end, obviously Elliot has that like chivalrous thing where they're like, why do you care? And he's like, because you were supposed to, which is, I feel like this is how Dean Devlin is trying to address police corruption and how they need to be handled and shit. So I actually enjoyed that episode because I was like, yeah, stick it to the fucking fuzz. The next episode is probably my second favorite episode in this new rebooted series called The Great Train Job. Fun fact, the bad guy on The Great Train Job is Parker's fiance, I think he is. But she's dating him in real life. Yes, he is way younger than she is, but they appear to be very happy. So that's like her dude. The Nazi thing bothered me a lot. Having hate crimes and stuff. And then, like, alcoholic cardiomyopathy. Like, I don't think that shit resolves on its own. Like, that, there's a lot more that I feel like they should have done there. The cute little scene where Harry and Elliot go to, like, dig stuff up. And he's like, Harry, are you a serial killer? Like, that was funny. Obviously, we see Brianna. Oh, by the way, Parker directed this episode, too. As another thing. Parker's getting more into directing. Or, like, whoever the actress is. I can't think of her name right now. It's late, and I'm tired. It's been a shitty day. But, yeah, she is the one who directed the episode. We see Brianna be a lesbian, which is cute. With having her whole... watching slow motion with the girl take her hair out and stuff. Watching Sophie go ahead and turn into the German heiress. Like I said, there was a lot of like little parts in it that were like a little uncomfortable, but it was uncomfortable on purpose with Nazis. You know what I mean? Like it was supposed to be on purpose, uncomfortable and awkward and weird and stuff like that. One of the parts that I did giggle is the whole entire Canada, like, storyline. Like they were nervous about Canada. Where, like, we all think the same thing, like Dudley Do Right, whenever, shh, like, that entire scene cracked me up. I must have watched it, like, 100 times. And then, like, when they're talking about why the Mounties are coming after them. And then, obviously, when Blaine gets caught with that, and then they just do it so politely and stuff. I thought that was really cute, and, like, I like the Canada thing. That one's cute, too, where you watch Brianna have a kiss with her new girlfriend, and then you watch, like, the people back at the farm, and stuff like that. Like, that, it was just a cute story, but it definitely talked about hate crimes and Nazis and all that other good stuff. So I like that. Muddy Waters. So these are the last, Muddy Waters is the second to last episode. So, I think that's the one in the beginning where, they have the callbacks to... mail coming in, and obviously all of freaking Hardison's mail is Doctor Who related, which makes me love him more. So I loved that. That one had a lot to do with, obviously, like, corruption, how far-reaching it is and stuff like that, and oil spills, whatever. Fun fact there, the daughter on there is Noah Wiley's real-life daughter. So the girl that plays his daughter is also his real-life daughter. If you remember the episode from The Golf Job and look at that woman's face and look at this girl and stuff like that, it definitely looks like Noah Wiley. So it's cute. Like I said, it became a family affair because it was in the middle of COVID protocols and they wanted people to be close by. I thought something was interesting about it. I've rewatched this season like many times because it's just like one of my comfort shows. Watch Sophie's clothes throughout the season if you can. In this episode... So when she first starts off, she's wearing all black, and like, everything all black. Still, she got some style, but she's still wearing all black. Then over time, she is adding pops of color, like her shoes, or a necklace, or something like that. In this episode, she's actually wearing red. You know what I mean? Which is amazing. I mean, for her to work her way through. She did a good job of, like, you know, being daunting by not saying anything, which, you know, as an auditor, it sure is. What else is there right here? I hated Ethan from the moment I saw him in his stupid fucking comb over, and I think they did that on purpose. Like, as we've determined, Grace is dumb. Like, Noah Wiley's Harry's ex-wife in the whole thing, she's dumb, as we have determined. But, like, Ethan is the thing. I guess, like, she wanted a Magoo after this? I don't know. Whatever. But she was just dumb anyway. Like, once we found out who he was, she still wanted that. It's just... I get that we were setting this up so that it kind of hurt, like, Harry's feelings, that, like, it didn't change anything with Grace. You know, you had to have imagined that he was trying to get Grace back to some degree the whole season, like, to be forgiven, if by nobody else but her. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to watch that play out and then watch, like, it didn't happen. Like, you don't get that. You know what I mean? Like, you're not getting her back. Like, it's just not a thing. And then to watch how, like, it really bothered him was interesting. Which brings us to the Harry Wilson job. As you saw at the end of the Muddy Waters, they burned down the oil tanker thing, the oil platform, whatever. It's interesting to watch how angry Elliot got with all the things going on, because they threw him that cute little baby shower and stuff like that. Oh, I forgot, the one from Muddy Waters, oil happens, like, watching Brianna be like, why are you fighting in oil? Like, again, Brianna with the little side quips that I enjoy. But watching how angry Elliot got, and then furthermore, watching how angry Parker gets. So, like, one of the good, again, we give Parker so many layers in this, and I like Parker so much more now in this than I did in the other one. You know, Parker was always an angry person, and, like, you know, we hint at it in this season, because, you know, she's like, so much anger, with the hand puppets and stuff. She is still angry. Like, you don't stop being angry just because, you know, you're starting to do good now. You can still be angry, and watching how angry she was at Harry was great, because it's totally like, look, you can... Anger feels strong, you know what I mean? Betrayal, like, when you betray Parker, like, she don't play. I don't know if you remember the episode back in the day when Tara was there, when Parker thought that Tara betrayed her, and she was about to throw her off the roof, and she's like, bye now. Like, she had just spent all those episodes building up a relationship with Tara, and she was about to throw her off the roof by her neck, and, like, happily and easily. Like, Parker don't fuck around, you know what I mean? Like, I don't... She does not take betrayal easily. And, like, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have to. And that's how she stays strong. The star of this fucking episode is our boy Hardison showing up with, like, come with me if you want to live. Like, of course he did. Like, you know, I squealed when that happened. I was hoping he'd come back for the last episode. Obviously, when we saw him in the mask, I knew who it was. But, like, you know, when he said, like, you finally had, like, that cute little scene where him and Parker kiss. Like, you never really, like... Him and Parker always got really close to, like, kissing, but they never actually kissed in the show. So that was, like, a cute moment where they actually did kiss. So that's for all the fans who, like, really wanted them to, you know, show intimacy as they could. You did get to watch how, like, the full team really works. And in the Ocean's 11 type way that they took everything down. Kind of really loved that. Like, this one definitely had, like, an Ocean's... You know, the whole point of this show is to be Ocean's 11-ish. But, like, this one really did, because, like, you know, think about Ocean's 11 and, like, you know, I think it's Ocean's 12 that had the thing where they want to get to dude who did Capoeira or some shit. And, like, you know, Sophie being George Clooney or Danny Ocean or whatever we're calling him, just telling the Capoeira dude, like, how he took the thing is, like, Sophie's jam. You know, there was that minor thing where Sophie's gonna go back to England and run a theater. No one buys that for more than 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. She's saying, maybe I'll do the next chapter, blah, blah, blah. But it's not really... I didn't buy it. So yeah, Hardison was great in this one. I liked all the fun, cool stuff that they did. The conference room scene was phenomenal. You know what I mean? Watching how they're like, her and Bly are like counting down back and forth to each other. I was talking about Sophie's clothes. Sophie in this part is dressed all in white. So, white hat is what she's doing. You know what I mean? Like, she was definitely into the white hat vibe. So it's nice watching her clothes change over time from, all black to all white so that she can finally, elevate to what she needs to be elevating to. The entire conference room scene was fantastic. So that she had a reason for everything that went on. I love the let's throw this thing out the window and hope that it goes. And then Hardison being like, never say the or. That was fantastic to have that cute little scene right there. And then, to be like, did you really think it was a good idea to give Elliot 60 seconds of darkness? That makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, Elliot, do you really, like, this dude's walking around and, like, with a flashlight beating the brakes off of everybody. Like, that's not smart to go ahead and just be like, let's wander around. Harry leaving at the end of this, I also call bullshit on that one too. He's gonna go hang his own shingle. Noah Wyle, you do not ever go on a TV show that you don't beat the shit out of forever. A la ER, a la The Librarians, a la The New Librarians. Like, you don't know how to go on a show and leave after one season. So I'm not really buying it. Another thing to notice is that there's a weird kind of chemistry between Sophie and Harry that I'm, like, not sure. So the entire show, the season so far, she keeps saying, our Mr. Wilson. Of course, the person in me that watches TV and romance novels and horror shit like that is like, is our Mr. Wilson going to turn into my Mr. Wilson eventually? Of course it probably will. But if it doesn't, that's fine too, because then she's finding her own way and she doesn't necessarily need to, like, find a man in order to figure out who the fuck she is. But, I'm imagining that that's what's going to happen there. So all in all, I think that this job did a great job, this season did a great job of rebooting the series, picking up where they left off. And they also did it right when they were about to start filming everything, COVID happened. So they had to literally do everything during COVID times. So they did a fantastic job considering that this whole entire thing was filmed during COVID. And they had to do the best that they could with it and keep distance and whatever. And it never really felt like, there's a lot of stuff that you watch that you're like, yep, we're in the middle of COVID time. Don't get me wrong, like, I do want shows to, like, reference COVID. Like, don't pretend COVID never happened. There's a TV show I watch, I think it's it's 911 or something like that, where, for quite a few episodes after, or Station 19, like, quite a few episodes after, they were like, this takes place in a world after COVID-19 occurred. Like, it was like, yep, we know, but we know that this is not, like, real. We're still taking the appropriate protocols to do things. We're just filming it like it's not a thing right now, for escapism. So I think they did a really good job with this. I think that they were kind with how they did the Nate thing, because they could have been much more dicks, even though fucking Timothy Hutton is trying to sue them for going on without him, even though he's a fucking whatever. Yeah, it's just a lot. Oh, we forgot to talk about one more thing. Maria Shipp. I also don't buy that we've seen the last of Maria, because I think that that's like the first time we've seen, like, consistency in Elliot with someone. I feel like, if we're likening her relationship with Elliot to Sophie's relationship with Nate, then, like, she'll be back. She just needs some time to figure some shit out. Like, think about how she wants to do it. So I don't think the Maria Shipp and Elliot thing's over. That weird little scene at the end of Muddy Waters. I don't know, in the beginning of the Harry Wilson job, I just didn't buy it. Like, I was like, it's fine, or whatever. I guess they're, like, breaking up, but she still gave him the drive, whatever. It's fine. So yeah, I really liked the reboot, and I'm actually excited. Like, we got 6 days until the season 2 comes for this shit. Problem is, they're gonna start doing the same stupid horse shit. Like, they're gonna drop like 3 or 4 episodes and then make me wait every single fucking week for it, and I don't like that. So anyway, that is my feelings on these episodes. I would very much like you to also give me feedback if you can. I'm doing this because I also find this therapeutic as well, even though my brain is kind of shot right now. So, all right. Hope you're having a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye.